Hey, loves, welcome back to another episode of You Are Meant for More. I'm your host, Francine Ayala, and let me just say my apologies. I was gone for 2 weeks, and if you felt it, I'm so sorry. The first week, if you were with us 2 weeks ago, then you know that we had some technical issues. We couldn't continue the show, which I hope has been resolved, and we can move forward from here. So thank you for being patient because we never know about technology, right? And then the second week, I gave myself grace because I wasn't feeling too well and I just took a break. So thank you for understanding that we all need to slow down and pause for a second, right? But oh my goodness, you guys, so much has been happening. There's been so much alignment in what God is positioning me to do next in my next season with other people. Because again, like my good friend Veronica said, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with people. I'm all about that. I had an amazing meeting today with one of my friends, Jessica, and her and I are all about the mind, body, soul connection and how it's truly aligned and how it's going to benefit every single one of your like next season, next generation, of course, next generation, but the future self that is within you. So I can't wait to share. But today we're diving into a topic that's actually gained a lot of momentum. And I'm grateful that you're here. And if you're new to the show, welcome and thank you. And I'm honored that you're here. And of course, if you've been with the show for a while, I truly appreciate you for sticking by me and coming along with this, because there's been a lot of transformation through this process. And I'm just here for every single piece of it and wanting to expand and grow with you all. So thank you for being here. Okay, so let's dive in. Let me bring up my notes, you guys. This is going to be such a powerful show that I want you to share it. I definitely want you to share it with someone who can use it, who's going to benefit from it. Pray on it, think on it, whatever it is that you want to do, and just know that it's going to change somebody's life. And I'm excited for it. Okay, so, obviously, welcome back. You all know who I am, what I do. If you don't, I am Francine Ayala, women empowerment coach and speaker, NLP certified, and just dove into spiritual psychology recently to really unpack how God is moving in our lives and how we are a place of love. And you're going to hear more about that as the show continues. So I do summits and conferences, and I also host wellness events. So just stick around. There's a lot here, a lot to uncover. And if you don't know already, I put the link to my website. So please feel free to subscribe. The subscribe button is all the way at the bottom of the page, and I would love it if you joined over there so that I can send you and guide you through new workshops that are coming up. Our mastermind is kicking off in 2 weeks, so definitely want you to be a part of it. And you guys, I still have my Halloween nails on. I'll get a little bit closer, but we got some bats in there, and I just had to share because it's just funny. I just saw it right now in the reflection. So, but that's okay. This weekend I got to take them off because I'm prepping for a wedding to go to. So here we go. All right. So here we go. Can we just be real for a second? Have you ever looked at your life and thought, why does this keep happening to me? Maybe it's the same type of relationship showing up over and over again. And, like a different face, maybe same energy, different name, different person, but same pain. Maybe it's the same financial struggle. You work hard, you hustle, you do all the things, but somehow you're still stuck in the same place financially. Yeah. Maybe it's that feeling of being stuck in the same patterns, no matter how hard you try to move forward. Like you're running on that treadmill, putting in all the effort, but not actually getting anywhere. If you've ever felt like you're spiraling, like you're caught in a loop of painful patterns that you just can't seem to break, this episode's for you. Because here's what I know. It's not bad luck. It's not coincidence. It's not the universe against you, or some of us used to say, that's God against me. Nope. It's a pattern. But guess what? A pattern can be broken. Tonight, we're going to go deep where we're talking about the spiritual psychology behind why we stay stuck, why we attract the same situations, the people, why we keep living in discomfort, even when we desperately want something different. Yes, please stick around because it's going to be a good one. But here's the truth bomb I'm dropping tonight. You ready for it? Lean in. Here's the truth bomb. The key to breaking the spiral isn't willpower. It's another strategy. Or I'm sorry, it's not another strategy. It's not trying harder. Ready for it? It's self-love. Let me say it louder for the people in the back. It's self-love. Yes. So grab your journal, get comfortable, maybe light a candle, and let's dive into breaking the spiral. Why self-love is the key to ending painful patterns. This is going to be transformational, you guys. So let's go. All right. You guys comfy. This is where like background music plays as we get going and we get comfortable into like, I'm diving deep into me today. So welcome. Again, if you're joining me live, let me know you're here. Let me know what resonates with you. Drop it in the comment section. And then, of course, if there's a question, something comes up for you, let's chat about it. Okay, here we go. All right, let's start with the big question that I know has been on your mind. Why do we keep repeating the same painful patterns? Because it's not just bad luck, right? It's not coincidence. When the same things keep showing up in your life, the same type of person, the same type of struggle, the same type of situation, there's something deeper going on. And this is where spiritual psychology comes in. This is where we start to understand the why behind the pattern. So let me share something with you that changed my entire perspective. From a spiritual psychology perspective, and this is where it gets really interesting, your external reality is a mirror of your internal world. Yep, let me say that again. Your external reality, so what's happening around you, is a mirror of your internal world. This is huge. What shows up in your life is a reflection of what's happening on the inside of you. So your relationships, they're reflecting your relationship with yourself. Your finances, they're reflecting your beliefs about your worth. Your opportunities, they're reflecting what you believe you deserve. So if you keep attracting unavailable people, the question isn't, why are all these people unavailable? The question is, where am I unavailable to myself? If you keep experiencing rejection, ask yourself, where am I rejecting myself? And if you keep struggling financially, ask, what do I believe I'm worth? What do I believe about money? What did I learn about abundance growing up? These are all patterns. Now I know that might really be hard to hear because sometimes when I say it, people don't like to receive that information. And I get it, you guys. Believe me, I get it. We don't want to be the person who's at fault. We never do. And that's okay. I understand that. But when we really step back and look deeper, trust me, when I first learned this, I was like, wait. You're telling me I'm creating this? No way. Yep, that was me. Those were my words. But here's the thing. This isn't about blame. This is about power. Because if your external reality is a reflection of your internal world, that means, sorry guys, my throat has been getting dry lately. So give me a sec. Okay, so that means when you change what's happening on the inside, when you change your beliefs, your frequency, your relationship with yourself, your external reality has to change too. That's not just psychology, that's spiritual law. So how are you feeling with this? Is it sitting with you? Are you like, no, I don't think that's right. That's not me. And let me just tell you, that's okay. Because your internal being is fighting that. Your subconscious will always protect you. So your first response will always be, no way, that's not me. Okay? But when you allow yourself to reflect, more will come. Stick with me. So let's break this down, why we spiral. why these patterns keep repeating. Here's what's happening on a deeper level. Number one, your brain is wired for the familiar. Your brain's number one job is to keep you safe. And your brain basically says safe means familiar. Even when that familiar thing is painful. So it's going to keep you repeating the same patterns. Think about it. Your brain has been through everything. It knows what you survived. So when something new comes along, even if it's good, even if it's what you've been praying for, your brain goes, wait, I don't know this. This is unfamiliar. This could be dangerous. Let's go back to what we know. And then you continue to start seeing the same patterns repeat. So even when you consciously want something different, your subconscious is pulling you back to familiar patterns because that's where it feels safe. That's where you feel comfortable. And your brain would rather keep you in a predictable pain than risk the unknown, even if the unknown could be absolutely amazing. How you doing? Can I get an amen? Are you feeling that? Are you like, wow, that is hitting me? If you're joining me live, say yes. And if you're catching this on replay, that's fine too. Comment on the feed. Let me know. I'll respond to all of your comments. I want to know what you're processing right now, because sometimes when people hear this, they either have this aha moment or they're still blocking it. And everyone is in their own space at their own time. So no judgment at all, because been there, done that. Okay, so number 2, subconscious programming runs the show. Here's something most people don't even realize. Like 95% of your thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors are subconscious. Yep, a lot of people don't even realize that. That means only 5% of what we do is a conscious choice. The other 95%, it's autopilot. It's programming that was installed when you were a child. Most of our core beliefs are formed when we're ages 0 to 7. Before we even had that awareness to the question, of what's going on. If you grew up believing you weren't good enough, that programming is still running. If you grow up believing love is conditional, that programming is still running. If you grow up believing you have to struggle to survive, that program is still running. And guess what? That programming is creating your reality right now. So you can consciously want abundance, but if your subconscious believes money is hard to come by, or rich people are greedy, or I don't deserve wealth, your subconscious is going to win every time. So let me give you an example. Mine was, that's why for some reason, I would make money, it would go down. I would make money, it would go down. And I was like, what is this cycle that's going on? I actually knew there was a cycle, but why? I wanted to know why. That's why I dove into getting NLP certified. That's why I dove into becoming a mindset coach. That's why I dove into even more training in spiritual psychology. But I wanted to know why. And the reason why my money patterns continue to happen was because I grew up learning money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford that. That's too expensive. So there was always this I make money and it just goes to bills. I make money and it goes to bills. So it was always a constant make, and then out. So there was never abundance. There was never savings. There was never any extra left over. But once we realize that these are patterns that we can fix, that's where everything changes. And that's why it's so important. But there's still so much more to uncover, you guys. All right, let me see how you're doing. I'm going to come back to the chat. All right, amen. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Will. Yes, amen to that. I love it. Okay. So you can consciously want a healthy relationship, but if your subconscious believes I'm not lovable, or people always leave, or I have to earn love, your subconscious is going to sabotage it. Yep, happens. I've seen it happen. I've done it. So I absolutely know that process. This is why willpower doesn't work, because you're trying to use your 5% conscious mind to override. This is good, guys. Imagine this. 5% of your conscious mind to override the 95% of your subconscious programming. Tell me, mathematical, is that mathing correctly? I mean, what do you think? No. And that's an uphill battle. You're not going to win. The key is to reprogram the subconscious, and we're going to talk about how to do that. So pay attention. Put everything on pause, or pause this episode if you're catching it on replay, and go back and listen. Listen to everything I'm telling you with so much focus. Sound good? All right. Okay. Number 3, we attract what matches our frequency. Now, this is the spiritual piece that is so important. Everything is energy. You are energy. Your thoughts are energy. Your beliefs are energy. Your emotions are energy. And energy has a frequency, a vibration. When you believe you're worthy, when you love yourself, when you feel abundant, you're vibrating at a high frequency. When you believe you're not enough, when you're in shame or fear or lack and you're vibrating at a low frequency, and here's the law, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Or more specifically, what you believe you are. So if you're vibrating at the frequency of I'm not enough, you're going to attract situations and people that confirm your belief. If you're vibrating at a frequency of I'm lovable, you're going to attract people who are unavailable or who treat you like you're unlovable. And if you're vibrating at a frequency of I have to struggle, you're going to attract the struggle. Your frequency is your magnet, and it's attracting everything in your life right now. The good news, though, you can change your frequency, and when you do, what you attract changes too. So let me know what you're feeling about that. Was that a tough pill to swallow? Like, seriously, like I always talk about energy and frequency with people. And it's like what you believe and who you believe you are is who you are. And it's like, what is it that you want? What is it that you want to go after? But do you believe it? Do you believe it in yourself? And there's so many opportunities to put yourself in the spaces that allow you to believe that and confirm it. And there's just so much more to add to that. So let's continue, you guys, because I have a lot for you. All right. The comfort of discomfort is number 4. This one's sneaky, and it's one of the hardest patterns to break. We stay stuck in what hurts because it's what we know. Like there's a strange comfort in the familiar, even when it's painful. At least we know what to expect, right? So it's like, I'm going to stay in this pain because it's familiar and it's comfortable and I know it. At least we know how to navigate it. At least we know we can survive it because we already have. But the unknown, that's scary. Even when the unknown could be beautiful, it's still unfamiliar. And unfamiliar feels dangerous to our nervous system. So we stay in the toxic relationship because at least we know what we're dealing with. We stay in the job we hate because at least it's stable. We stay small because at least no one's judging us. But here's the problem. You can't heal in the same environment that made you sick. You can't break patterns while staying in the comfort of discomfort. You have to be willing to step into the unknown. You have to be willing to feel uncomfortable in a new way. The discomfort of growth, not the discomfort of staying stuck. So what do? How do we break free from these patterns? That's where self-love comes in. And I'm going to show you exactly how in the next segment. But first, I want you to pause and ask yourself, which of these 4 things resonates most with me right now? Is it the familiarity trap? the subconscious programming, the frequency mismatch, or the comfort of discomfort. Just notice it. No judgment, just awareness. Because awareness is a first step to transformation. There was something that recently happened with my son where I had gone over something with him in conversation, and we had originally discussed it, but he wasn't aware of it yet. And I knew he wasn't. And as a coach and somebody who knows, and of course I'm his mom, I'm not going to spill it out to him, because you can't tell somebody who isn't ready to receive. So I kind of stood back and I let him continue to be. We continue to talk about a conversation. And then fast forward like 2 months later, he just told me the other day that something came up for him with his girlfriend. And he was like, Mom, this, and that, this happened. And I was like, that's great. And it's funny because it was exactly what we had discussed 2 months ago. But I saw the block, I saw the barrier where he didn't want to receive it at that time. And that's what I do with clients. I know when they're ready to receive it and when they're not. I can't personally give them I can't give them the answers. They have to become aware of it themselves. So I can suggest, and even then, like, it's not even suggest, because you're not supposed to suggest to them, but it's one of those, the way I ask it is I ask more questions. So I may reword it so that it can have that type of suggestion to them. But it needs to come from them. It needs to come from the person, the awareness of it and understanding what's blocking them. So it's good stuff, you guys. I'm telling you, hang in there with me. Okay. All right, let's talk about self-love. So one of the things, like, I went to this wellness event over the past weekend, and more is coming, you guys, about this wellness event that we're going to be doing in 2026. So stay tuned for that. Be sure to log in. Where is it? Here we go. To my email newsletter. But self-love, self-worth, and like your worthiness, and also and forgiveness are the three main focuses that I've been led to coach on and to go over and to help people through. Those are the three main areas that are going to really shift somebody's whole perspective and help them through the process of healing internally, of allowing themselves to release any past beliefs that they believe about themselves, any past patterns and things like that. So I'm only talking about self-love today, but I'm telling you, those are the three things that are coming. Okay, so here we go. Let's talk about self-love. And I want to be really clear about what I mean here. I'm not talking about bubble baths and face masks, and those are great and all. Please believe me, I'm with all of them. I love those. That's like more self-care, and that's where the difference needs to be done or differentiated. I'm talking about the deep, foundational, life-changing kind of self-love. The kind that says, I am worthy, I am enough, I deserve good things, and I am no longer available for anything less. The kind that sets boundaries without guilt. The kind that walks away from what doesn't serve you. The kind that chooses you even when it's hard. Because here's what I've learned, both in my own journey and in working with hundreds of women through the Mindset Mastery program. You cannot break patterns from a place of self-judgment. All right, let me say that again. You cannot break patterns from a place of self-judgment. Think about it. How many times have you tried to change something about yourself while simultaneously beating yourself up for it? Why do I keep doing this? What's wrong with me? I'm so stupid. I should know better by now. Why can't I just get it together? Sound familiar? I used what was my most popular one? Because I wrote this for a bunch of people that I've shared. Why do I keep doing this? Was my number one thing. Why can't I just get it together? Mine was something like that. So why do I keep doing this was my number one. Why do I keep doing this to myself? That's what I would say. And yeah, I was like beating up the inner child within me until my coach is like, your inner child isn't going to be happy that you're doing that to them. So I was like, can't she just get it together? Literally, you guys. So if I'm giving myself this self-judgment, I'm not really breaking the patterns. I'm just mad at the situation until I change that frequency, okay? Because that's self-criticism. And self-criticism keeps you in this spiral. And it keeps you stuck because it reinforces the very belief that's creating the pattern in the first place. I'm not good enough. Like, how many times have you said that? You may not have said it out loud, but you have probably said it in your thoughts. Your subconscious is holding on to it. Every time you criticize yourself, you're confirming that core wound. You're feeding the pattern instead of breaking it. Self-compassion, on the other hand, creates space for change. Self-compassion says, I see the pattern. I understand why it's there. I have compassion for the part of me that created it as a way to survive. And now I'm ready to choose something different. See the difference? You're actually giving it love instead of judgment, instead of criticism. You're providing a safe space. And as an entrepreneur, one of the biggest things I had to learn was from a good friend of mine who told me, give yourself grace for how far you've come. So I'm going to tell you that now. Give yourself grace for not knowing any better. And now you get to shift that as to how you're going to show up differently going forward. Still with me? Good? All right, let me know if you guys have any questions. Drop it in the chat. Again, whether you're live or catching this on replay, let me know because I'm here with you live. So if you want to ask now, definitely go ahead. I'll check back in a bit. Okay, so one keeps you stuck in shame and judgment. The other opens doors to transformation and healing. So let me share something personal with you. So I've struggled with depression twice in my life. Once in 2017, which actually led me to starting Wheela. If you don't know my story by now, that's what happened there. And again in 2022, which led me to my ADHD diagnosis. And both of those seasons, I was so hard on myself. I judged myself for being depressed. I criticized myself for not being able to just snap out of it. I felt like I was failing. But what I learned, that self-judgment was making it worse. It wasn't until I started practicing self-compassion, until I started saying, Francine, you're going through something really hard right now, and that's okay. You're doing the best you can. You're not broken. You're human. That's when things started to shift. And then diving into the spiritual psychology of it, I started to understand and really show myself a lot more love. And that literally came out in such a way of like, okay, it came back to what my friend said, basically love myself for how far I've come and for not knowing any better, for not understanding the ways of how to show up in the best form and the best self-love I could. And that is like where it changed. That's where everything became more powerful and more clear for where I was headed and how I got to be of love to share with so many others. That's when I could actually start healing because I created a space for healing instead of a space for shame. So why do we resist self-love? I think there are a few reasons actually. But let me come back to you guys. I love it. Rocio is in the house, you guys. This is my accountability partner, Rocio. Thank you, love, for being here. You're awesome. Okay, so I think there are a few reasons I want to name them because maybe you're experiencing this too. Number one, we've been conditioned to believe self-love is selfish. Especially as women, we've been taught that putting ourselves first is wrong. That we need to take care of ourselves, of everyone else, actually, before we take care of ourselves. That self-sacrifice is noble, self-care is indulgent. And let me tell you something, that's a lie. Self-love isn't selfish. Self-love is survival. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot show up powerfully for those or for others if you're running on fumes. You cannot be the light for anyone else if your own light is burned out. How many times have you been there? I've been there multiple times. Number 2, we believe we need to earn love. We think we have to be perfect, accomplish more, prove our worth, be good enough before we're allowed to love ourselves. But here's the truth. You're worthy of love right now, exactly as you are. Not when you lose weight, not when you make more money, not when you get the promotion, now. Number 3, we're afraid of what will happen if we truly love ourselves. And this one's deep. There's a fear that if we become too confident, too self-assured, too powerful, we'll lose relationships. People won't like us. We'll be alone. I remember feeling that way. I remember actually having a conversation with a good friend of mine and telling her, I'm headed into a season or my next level where I'm not going to have these types of relationships or this opportunity to be just like doing things, like always with them, always going out with them and doing stuff like that, because I knew my head was going to be down and I was going to be focused on who I was coming to be, who I was meant to be. And I shared that because I knew something was going to shift. I knew that I was going to lose relationships, friendships. And the thing is, it's not necessarily losing. It's just knowing that you're about to level up into your next season. So it's going to be very lonely. But when you surround yourself with people that do what you're doing and are excelling in those areas, I promise you it's not lonely. You got to find your tribe. You got to find the right people. So we dim our lights to find everyone comfortable. We play safe. We play actually small to stay safe. But here's what I want you to know. The people who are meant for you will celebrate you. They'll celebrate your light and not fear it. And the ones who can't handle your growth, they were never your people to begin with. And people have a reason, a season, and a lifetime in your life. And there's always a reason for it. Now, here's the energetic truth, and this is where it all comes together. When you truly love yourself, when you honor yourself, when you set boundaries, when you choose yourself, your frequency changes. Remember what we talked about earlier. You attract what matches your frequency. So when your frequency changes, what you attract changes. You stop tolerating disrespect because you respect yourself. You stop chasing the unavailable people because you're fully available to yourself. You stop settling for less because you know your worth. You stop repeating painful patterns because you're no longer a vibrational match for them. And this is the shift. This is how you break the spiral. Not through willpower, not through trying harder, but through loving yourself so deeply that the old patterns literally can't exist anymore because of your energy field. So let me share another personal story. In 2025, I had a major breakthrough around my own worth. For years, and I mean years, I carried scarcity programming from my childhood. I became a single mother at 17. I worked my butt off in corporate America. I drove rideshare for 6 years while building my business. I hustled. I struggled. I believed that's basically how life was supposed to be. I believed I had worked hard for every dollar. I believed financial freedom was for other people and not me. I believed wanting more was greedy or unrealistic. And guess what? Guess what kept showing up in my life? The struggle, financial stress, the same patterns over and over and over again. And when I finally did the inner work, when I started to truly love myself, to place myself around the people that showed me how to get financial freedom, how to live in abundance, how to not have those same patterns, I believed I was worthy of abundance, to lead with my heart and soul instead of from fear and lack. That's when everything shifted. The opportunities changed, the people changed, the money changed. My entire reality changed because I changed. I changed my beliefs. I changed my frequency. I changed my relationships with myself. And that's what's available for you too. Whatever pattern you're stuck in right now, it's not permanent. It's not who you are. It's just a reflection of old programming. And when you change the programming through self-love, self-compassion, the pattern has to change too. Ooh, you guys, that was a lot. Okay. So I'm going to be wrapping it up, but I knew I had a lot for you guys. So let me go ahead and dive into it. But if you have any questions, let me know. So now you're probably thinking, okay, Francine, this all sounds great, but how do we actually do this? How do I break the patterns? What are the actual steps? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I'm not just going to give you theory tonight. I'm going to give you practical, actionable 5-step framework that you can start using today. And this framework, it's exactly what I use with my clients. And so I want you to grab your journal, because we're going to go deeper. Step 1, awareness. Name the pattern you can't change, what you can't see. So very first step that is non-negotiable is you to get brutally honest with yourself and name the pattern. What keeps showing up in your life? Is it the same self-sabotage? Maybe everything that starts going well, you do something to mess it up, you stop showing up, you pull back, you create drama. Is it the same feeling of not being enough? Maybe no matter what you accomplish, it never feels like enough. You're always chasing the next thing, thinking that finally I'm worthy. Journal prompt here. Ready? The pattern I keep repeating is ... Write it down. Get specific. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't make it sound better than it is. Just name it, call it out, bring it to light. Because once you name it, you take away its power. It's no longer this invisible force controlling your life. It's just a pattern, and patterns can be broken. So here's what I want you to notice. How does this pattern make you feel? Does it make you feel small, unworthy, powerless, scared, alone? Write that down too, because that feeling, that's the clue to the deeper wound underneath the pattern. Step 2, compassion. Understand the why. Now here's where most people skip ahead. They want to jump straight to fixing it. They want the solution now. Believe me, we all want to just get to the end result, right? I did too. I mean, it's natural. But you can't heal what you don't understand. So we're going to slow down here and ask a really important question. What is this pattern protecting me from? Because here's the truth. Every pattern, no matter how painful, served a purpose at some point. It was your survival mechanism. It kept you safe when you needed it. Maybe the pattern of attracting unavailable people is protecting you from the fear of real intimacy. Because if they're unavailable, you have to fully open your heart and risk being hurt. Maybe the pattern of financial struggle is protecting you from the fear of success. Because if you're successful, people might judge you, expect more from you, or you might lose relationships. Maybe the pattern of self-sabotage is protecting you from the fear of being seen. Because if you stay small, you stay safe. No one can criticize you if you never fully show up. Maybe the pattern of not feeling enough is protecting you from the fear of stopping. Because if you're always chasing the next thing, you never have to sit still and face what you're really feeling. That's deep, you guys. Okay, journal prompt. This pattern developed because, and it's protecting me from. And give yourself time, meditate on it, pray on it, sit with that, and answer those questions. And here's the key, and I really want you to hear this. Give yourself grace. This pattern isn't proof that you're broken or damaged or weak. This pattern is proof that you're a survivor. It's proof that you found a way to cope with something difficult. But now it's keeping you stuck. And that's okay. You're not broken. You're just ready for something new. So talk to yourself like you would talk to your best friend. If your best friend came to you and said, I keep doing this thing and I don't know why, would you judge her? Would you tell her she's dumb or weak or not good enough? No, you'd have compassion. You'd say, hey, I see you. I understand this is hard. Let's figure this out together. So give yourself that same compassion because you deserve it. How are you doing so far over there? Good? All right. Any questions? Okay. Step 3. Oh, you guys, I have a lot for you. Okay. I'm going to finish this up here. I didn't know I put so much in here. Okay. Here we go. Step 3, responsibility. Own your part. All right. Now we're moving into empowerment territory. And I want you to be really, really clear because this step gets misunderstood a lot. Responsibility is not the same as blame. Let me say that again louder. For the people in the back, of course. Responsibility is not blame. You are not responsible for what happened to you. You're not responsible for your childhood wounds. You're not responsible for the people who hurt you. You're not responsible for the circumstances that shaped you. None of that is your fault. But you are responsible for what you do with it. You're responsible for how you respond, you're responsible for the choices you make going forward, and you're responsible for your healing. And that's not a burden, that's your power. Because you're responsible, but if you're responsible, that means you have the power to change it. This is a shift from victim to victor. And yes, I'm talking about that from the pain to paint. If you guys don't know, Turning Pain into Power workbook is something I launched a couple weeks back or a month ago that you can always go back and check out. Because this is exactly what is designed to help you. The victim mindset says, why does this keep happening to me? Life is so unfair. I can't catch a break. Nothing ever works out for me. It's everyone's fault. Blah, 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 blah. And listen, I'm not judging the victim mindset because I've been there many times. We've all been there. It's a natural response to pain. But the victim mindset keeps you stuck because if it's everyone else's fault, then you have no power to change it. You're at the mercy of external circumstances. And the victor mindset says, what is this teaching me? How am I growing from this? What do I get to choose now? What's my part in this pattern? And how can I show up differently? The victor mindset doesn't deny the pain. It doesn't minimize what happened, but it reclaims the power. It says, this happened. It was hard. It hurt. And I get to decide what to do with it now. Journal prompt. I am taking responsibility for making yourself taking responsibility. Maybe you're taking responsibility for the boundaries you didn't set. Maybe you're taking responsibility for the red flags you ignored. Maybe you're taking responsibility for the ways you abandoned yourself. Maybe you're taking responsibility for staying in situations that didn't serve you. This isn't about shame. This is about power. Because when you own your part, you can change your part. And when you change your part, the entire pattern shifts. So rewrite. Step number 4, we're going to rewrite and create a new story. This is where the magic happens. You've named the pattern. You've understood it with compassion. You've taken responsibility. Now it's time to write the story. Because here's what most people don't realize. You've been living according to a story that isn't even true. That story that says you're not enough. That story that says you're unlovable. The story that says you have to struggle. The story that says you're not worthy. Those are just stories. They're not facts. They're not truth. They're just narratives you've been telling yourself. And, that we were told to tell ourselves for as long as you started to believe them. But stories can be rewritten. And this is where you create your empowerment statement. And yes, this is in the workbook too from the past several episodes. An empowerment statement is a declaration of who you're becoming and what you're no longer available for. It's your new story, your new truth, and your new identity. So here are some examples. I'm no longer available for relationships that don't honor my worth. I'm worthy of a partner who sees me, values me, and shows up for me fully. I'm no longer available from a financial struggle or scarcity. I'm worthy of financial abundance, and I choose to receive it with ease and joy. I'm no longer available for playing small and hiding my gifts. I am worthy of being seen, and I choose to show up boldly and authentically. So journal prompt. I am no longer available for, and I am worthy of. Write it down, say it out loud, put it on your mirror, make it your wallpaper. This is your new belief. This is the foundation of your new pattern. And here's what's going to happen. At first, it might not feel true. Your brain might resist it. Your old programming might say, yeah, right. Who are you kidding? That's normal. That's just the old pattern trying to stay alive. But you keep saying it anyways. You keep declaring it. You keep choosing it because you're not waiting to believe to say it. You're saying it so you believe it. You're rewiring your subconscious. You're changing your frequency. You're creating a neural pathway. And the more you say it, the more you embody it, the more true it becomes. So now, step 5, live the new pattern. Here's the thing, you just can't think of your way into a new pattern. You just can't think of it. You can't just journal your way into transformation. Through journaling, it's powerful. Like, you have to do it through journaling, through speaking, through believing in it. Make it happen. Make those choices. You have to live it. You have to embody it. You have to make choices every single day that align with your new story. Okay? You can turn this into a daily practice. 5 minutes a day, planning your day, 5 key tasks that will move you forward. Do 5 time blocks that get things done. And at the end of the day, you write down your victories, even the small ones, especially the small ones. Because your brain needs evidence that you're changing and needs proof that the new pattern is possible. So you celebrate. Today I set a boundary. Today I chose myself. Today I didn't tolerate disrespect. Today I took one step toward my dream. These are victories. Say them in the mirror. Rewire your brain and say it every morning until you start to believe it. I know who I am. I sit in my power. I stand in confidence. That's who I am as a person. I couldn't say that years ago, months ago, last year. But going through the spiritual work, the psychology work that I've been through is just allowing, it's just showing up in that frequency of like, I know my worth. I know what I'm capable of. I know who I am, and I know how worthy I am. And I get to share that love and that opportunity with so many other people. Become this new identity. Show up in this space every chance you get. This is how you break the spiral. And it doesn't happen overnight. It just happens with consistent action. And I want this so much for you guys. Okay? All right, you guys. So I know I took a lot of your time. There was a lot I wanted to share. And there's a lot I still want to pour into you. I'm hosting a mastermind in the next 2 weeks, and I want you to stay connected. So as I mentioned before, if you're not already, sign up for the email list so that you are one of the first to know what's going on, okay? So I just want to leave you with this. Know you are loved. Know that you are worthy. And you forgive and you release and you give grace and self-love to yourself wholeheartedly. And that you're going to move in a new way because you truly embody that self-love that I just described you to be. And you believe it, and you're going to embody it every single day. And as you're going through this process, I want you to place your hand on your heart and tell yourself, connect to it. Know that you are good enough. You're worthy enough. You're damn confident enough. I will be your biggest cheerleader, making sure you believe it. And so a lot of what I talked about today is going to be in that mastermind. So I really encourage you to come and be part of it. It's going to be truly powerful. So thank you so much for sticking along with me. Woo, you guys, I'm going to be planning out the year 2026 for new episode, new guests, new topics, and so many different ways that we get to show up in a space of love, authenticity, and just transparency for everyone that we come into contact with. So I am coming with lots of stuff. So stay tuned. Thank you for being here. I truly appreciate you. Go out there, be blessed, love on people, and embody that spirit of love that I know every single one of you has. So thank you for being here, and we'll be back next week, God willing. Have a blessed day, evening, wherever you're joining us from. Just know that you are truly meant for more. Go out and be blessed. Take care. Thank you. Bye.
to know what you do, what inspires you, what you enjoy.
My ability to lead really impacts women on a larger level because not every woman has the same story or the same journey. So understanding where they've come from and where they want to go helps me be the leader that I can so that I can show up in a space of authenticity for them.